2, 1.
OU and state leaders huddle up to determine how ready Oklahoma is for a big earthquake. Another sex assault case from a public school, this time in Moore, and voting at OU is underway to elect new student leaders. This is OU Nightly. A hefty 4.2 earthquake shook awake the people of Crescent, Oklahoma early this morning. 6 hours later, another one rattled the dishes at the breakfast table, and a third quake struck at lunch.
But that's life in Northwest Oklahoma these days, where earthquakes have become a way of life. That fact was canonized yesterday when the U.S. Geologic Survey issued a warning that these parts of Oklahoma are now among the highest risk areas in the U.S. for damage from earthquakes that are created, not by nature, but by the energy industry's practice of injecting massive amounts of wastewater deep underground.
For perspective, earthquakes have struck 5 times in Oklahoma today, 1 each in Blackwell and Enid, and 3 in Crescent. That includes the big 4.2 earlier today. And for the entire year, 5 earthquakes today, 41 over the past week, 249 earthquakes in the month of March, and in the past year, Oklahoma has been hit with 3,452 earthquakes.
And there's no doubt the USGS hazard designation is causing waves across Oklahoma. The question everyone is asking, how prepared are we for an earthquake of devastating magnitude? OU Nightly's Haley Huey asked the leaders here at OU.
Central Oklahoma is in the bullseye according to the new map released by the U.S. Geological Survey. It's not unusual on the OU campus to feel buildings shake during minor earthquakes, which are now counted by the hundreds each year in Oklahoma. Besides downtown Oklahoma City and Tulsa, the OU campus has the biggest concentration of large structures in the state that house tens of thousands of people, like Walker Tower behind me, yet there are no organized earthquake preparedness drills on campus.
How prepared or unprepared are you?
This video is part of the Great Shakeout, a U.S.-sponsored program which educates people how to respond to earthquakes. When I went to the website, I found OU had not signed up for the drill, nor had any other Oklahoma institution.
OU students we spoke to don't know what they would do if an earthquake hit.
I don't think I would know. I would say we're not very informed of earthquakes in Oklahoma, so.
I think it's becoming a growing problem in Oklahoma, and so we have a lot of safety education that we do here, but not a lot on earthquakes, and I think that would be something that would be really smart for OU to start implementing.
I can't really tell you. I don't really know, to be honest.
Thanks, Haley. In Oklahoma City, state leaders have responded to the earthquake hazard revelation with meetings. State Emergency Management yesterday held the first meeting of the newly formed Catastrophic Earthquake Committee. It included representatives of all state agencies that might be involved in responding to a big quake. The group discussed response, recovery, and other impacts that might come from an earthquake magnitude 6.0 and greater. For example, the Department of Environmental Quality will focus on ensuring that the public's drinking water is safe, that chemicals are cleaned up properly, and that debris is managed in an environmentally sound manner.
Well, luckily for us, we haven't experienced any earthquakes here in the Norman area, but it has been a little bit windy outside. My hair does not like it much.
Kylie Capps is here with us. Kylie, what can you tell us?
That's right, guys. We started off chilly this morning, warmed up quite nicely throughout the rest of the afternoon, though. We're looking at current temperatures right now, 68 here in Norman, 70 in Oklahoma City, and we will stay fairly warm throughout the rest of the evening and into tomorrow morning, so be sure to get out there and enjoy that tonight. Now, those strong winds did stay with us today. We're still feeling that hot, dry wind from the south, 18 miles per hour here in Norman, 19 in Oklahoma City. And again, those winds will stay with us this evening and into tomorrow morning to try to bring through our next system of severe weather. And I'll talk more about that coming up in main weather and what we can expect to see with our next severe storm as well. Warm temperatures ahead of us, though, for the rest of the week, and I'll have our first look at our Final Four forecast here in Houston. But for right now, back to you guys.
Thanks, Kylie. An arrest warrant has been issued for a Moore High School teacher facing 1 count of forcible sodomy. Sandra Mayfield, a mock trial teacher, is accused of having inappropriate relations with one of her students. The affidavit shows these alleged relations took place in the cities of Moore and Oklahoma City at the end of February. Mayfield is on administrative leave, but the school's website still lists her as a current teacher.
And a preliminary hearing continues for the manager of a local business, the Friendly Market. City Councilman Stephen Holman and owner Robert Cox were both charged with possession of drug paraphernalia after police raided the shop in December. The hearing lasted 6 hours yesterday and will resume again on May 23rd.
In national news, new charges for one presidential campaign manager.
Allie Stratton joins us now in the News Center with the latest on the incident involving Trump's campaign manager. Allie?
Police have charged Donald Trump's campaign manager, Corey Lewandowski, with simple battery. A surveillance video shows him grabbing a Breitbart News reporter as she attempts to ask Trump a question. Police say the reporter's forearm shows an injury, but Lewandowski denies touching her. He will appear before a judge on May 4th. And an Egyptian-American dual citizen hijacked an Egypt air flight today and forced it to land in Cyprus. The man, identified as Ibrahim Samaha, was wearing fake explosives belt. The incident was not related to terrorism, and all passengers and crew members are safe, and Samaha is now in custody. And the Department of Justice says the FBI successfully unlocked the iPhone used by one of the gunmen in the San Bernardino terrorist shooting. It has now dropped the case against Apple since it no longer needs the company's help. The government was trying to force Apple to help bypass the phone's security features, but Apple objected. That's what's happening around the world. Now back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Allie. The OU Student Government Association kicked off its 2016 election this morning. This election gives students the opportunity to vote for student leaders on campus. I stopped by one of the polling centers earlier today for a closer look. Student politicians across campus have been working hard on their campaigns, while members of the SGA have been working just as hard to promote today's election.
This is a contract. You promised to vote in something. Promising. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Several polling locations have been set up around campus, including this one on the South Oval, where volunteer Jake Mazadis has been encouraging students to vote all day.
We've got a lot of eligible voters coming to vote. We have cookies laid out for people. We have stickers. So I really think that people are getting engaged.
The main focus of this election has been on the candidates running for Campus Activities Council chairman. But other positions within OU's colleges are also up for grabs. SGA officials want to encourage as many students as possible to make their way to the polls.
Go vote, because that's the only way to make your voice heard.
For more information on the election or to cast your vote online, visit www.elections.ou.edu. And still to come on OU Nightly, the flowers are blooming, the birds are singing, and the people are sneezing? We'll give you some tips on how to combat the pollen.
Plus, OU colleges earned high rankings. We'll be right back. OU's College of Law jumped 7 spots to 60th. Best law school in the U.S. News and World Report's latest rankings. The college is also recognized as a top 20 best value law school and as the 7th best moot court program in the country. OU law student Katie Wilms says the ranking reflects what students already know.
The country, but statistics to back it up is always helpful.
And OU College of Nursing is also bragging about its U.S. News and World Report ranking. The nursing master's program is ranked 78th. The doctorate nursing program comes in at number 70.
Every Tuesday, we're joined by the lovely Shay Smith with updates on what's happening in the health world. I understand that budget cuts are now hitting the health industry. What do you have for us, Shay?
That's right, Courtney. An increasing number of Oklahomans are being hit with budget cuts again. This time it is affecting the Department of Mental Health. The Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse announced recently that it will cut $13 million from its budget. That means this department has had to cut $22.8 million from operations and services this year alone. The department serves around 190,000 Oklahomans. And now, for the first time ever, the National Football League has acknowledged publicly that there is a connection between football and chronic traumatic encephalopathy. The NFL Senior VP of Health and Safety says there is a link between football and degenerative brain disorders like CTE. After the death of former Oakland Raiders player Ken Stabler, 3 of his ex-teammates announced they will be donating their brains to Boston University for further CTE research. George Atkinson, George Bueller, and Art Toms said their donation is a tribute to Ken. And with the nice weather comes some not so nice allergens. Millions of Americans are battling spring allergies. The usual symptoms: itchy eyes, runny noses, and sneezing. Tree pollen and grass pollen are the most common, but health officials say there are some precautions you can take to limit your exposure. Keep doors and windows shut, shower after being outside, wipe off your pets before letting them indoors, and lastly, start taking allergy medicine before you see the symptoms. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I've been dealing with my allergies like crazy.
Yes,
it is the
I
worst.
have too.
Yeah, that's
whenever
the one bad thing about spring.
No, I agree. Whenever that weather change comes on through, I can definitely tell. That's for sure.
It's crazy.
Great, thank you so much, Shay.
Thank you guys.
And a partial skull and 2 tusks of a prehistoric Columbian mammoth were found in northwest Oklahoma. A Woods County employee found the remains last week near Alva, 150 miles northwest of Oklahoma City. The elephant-like animal with long curved tusks was common in the Plains region before becoming extinct about 11,000 years ago. On average, the remains of 2 or 3 mammoths are found each year in Oklahoma. Archaeologists are interested because the earliest humans in Oklahoma existed at the same time and could have hunted the mammoths.
Thanks. Still ahead on OU Nightly, the Sooners are hoping to make it to the final dance of the NCAA tournament.
And Mandy Bailey is here with weather. Sorry, Kylie.
Welcome back to OU Nightly. I'm Kylie Katz. It was a warm and windy day out there today, but we are looking at about a slight risk for some severe weather tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening. Now, there is a dry line that we are expecting to form out in western Oklahoma that is in front of that low pressure system that will bring with it some severe storms tomorrow afternoon as well. Now, if you live off to the west of that dry line, you won't expect to see any severe storms off to the west, but off into the east, central, west, eastern Oklahoma, that is where the potential for severe weather is present and could be at the highest. Again, it's only a slight potential right now, but if we do see some storms fire up, that tornado potential is low still, so not much to worry about there right now. If a tornado does pop up, it will be isolated, but we will be keeping an eye on that as well. The hail, though, is going to be the main issue. Right now, we're forecasting about golf ball to tennis ball sized hail if we do see some hail, so a high potential for some hail as well. So strong winds and flash flooding will definitely be an issue if those storms do end up popping up. Now, this is all due to that upper level pattern that's off into the western part of the United States. And as that starts to move forward into western Oklahoma, that will be bringing with it that chance for the severe storms as that low pressure system does start to make its way through. So definitely keep an eye on that tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening. Now, tonight we are going to stay very warm. We're only going to get down to about 60 degrees tomorrow morning as you head out the door. Those clouds will start to make its way into the area and will keep us very warm tonight into tomorrow. So it's going to be a nice evening as well. If you have some outdoor plans, definitely get out there and enjoy that as well. Now, throughout the entire state tomorrow morning as you head out the door, it's going to be fairly consistent. Again, 60 tomorrow in Norman, 61 in Oklahoma City, lower 60s throughout the entire state. So again, a warm evening, much above that normal value of 42. So we are going to stay well above normal. Now, tomorrow we're going to warm up quite a bit as well as those clouds and that wind does stay with us. Now we're going to get up to about 78 at 4 p.m., 72 by noon. So it's going to be a warm, cloudy afternoon as we expect those storms to start making their way into the area. Tomorrow's highs throughout the entire state, fairly consistent, 78 here in Norman, 78 in Oklahoma City. As you move off further east, it is going to get a little bit cooler before that storm system does make its way through the rest of the state. Now, the 7-day forecast, we're going to warm up quite nicely throughout the rest of the week. Following that low pressure system and those storms on Wednesday, we are going to see a cold front Thursday morning into the rest of the weekend. So we're going to cool down quite a bit on Thursday. It's going to be a chilly morning as Friday as well. Saturday, we could see some scattered clouds, and then on Sunday, we'll warm up quite nicely again. So it's going to be a nice weekend, guys.
Right, very exciting.
Yeah, and it'll be sunny at the beginning of next week, so the storm shouldn't stick around for too long.
All right, great. Thanks, Kylie. And now the topic that everybody's talking about in Oklahoma, basketball. What do you have for us, Steven?
That's right, Courtney. Basketball is a booming in Oklahoma. The Sooners are Final Four bound. The Thunder get their 8th straight win, and Russell Westbrook continues to shine. I'll lay it all out next in sports. To OU Nightly Sports, I'm Stephen Kabler. To kick things off, Buddy Hield was not named Player of the Year by the National Association of Basketball Coaches, but the Sooners are not concerned with individual awards right now. On Saturday, Buddy and the boys take on Villanova in Houston for the Final Four. The Sooners defeated Nova by 23 points earlier this season, and Kruger and company say confidence and focus are both at an all-time high.
Anytime you invest more in preparation, you're probably going to be more confident when that opportunity comes. I think the worst feeling is to enter a contest and feel like you haven't prepared as well as you could. And this group doesn't have to worry about that.
I think our team confidence is high. Just knowing every game is important. Just try, leave it all out on the floor, and just playing for one another.
Excitement for the Final Four here in Norman is real. Student tickets went on sale this morning at 8 a.m., and by 8:30, the 700 allotted tickets were sold out. The tickets cost $40 for the semifinal game, and if OU advances, each student who purchased a ticket will receive a free ticket to the championship game on Monday. So if you're headed down to Houston, expect a big Sooner following. The Thunder are rolling in just in time for the playoffs. Westbrook, Durant, and the rest of the crew travel to Toronto to take on the Raptors. Let's take a look at this. Russell Westbrook from half court, making it look easy. 50-44 second quarter lead for the Thunder. Next, we got here Kyle Singler dribbling out, kicking it to who? The only Kevin Durant. Bang, dropping it home. 95-71. Okay, now watch this, folks. Russell Westbrook steps up to the free throw line. Usually automatic, misses it, but don't worry, one-handed putback on his own miss. Unbelievable, but we'll get to him in a little bit. Right here, Kevin Durant gives his patented shoulder shimmy shake crossover, pulling out the dagger, go home. This one's over. Thunder win 119-100. Now, we talked about Russell Westbrook earlier, and after last night's blowout, he joined some very elite company, and he still has a chance to improve on that. Westbrook tied MJ, that's right, the GOAT, Michael Jordan, for most triple-doubles in a calendar month with 7. And Westy still has 2 games to play this month. One tonight against the Pistons and another Thursday in OKC against the Clippers. If Westbrook can put up the stats it takes in these 2 games, he will have 18 triple-doubles, which would be the most in a season since Magic Johnson's 17 in the 88-89 season. Westbrook is having so much success that his stats are being compared to the Big O, Oscar Robertson. Let's look at the stats per 100 possessions. Westbrook leads in every category, and it really isn't even close. Westbrook is averaging 34 points a game to Robertson's 26.7 and just over 5 assists more. Needless to say, Russell Westbrook is having a monster year, and his team is heating up just before the playoffs hit. Guys, it's kind of unbelievable what he's able to do, but he's just working it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still team Michael Jordan, but thanks, Steven. Still to come on OU Nightly, trees were the first thing planted when OU was established.
And we'll show you how the university honored them for Arbor Day.
OU held Arbor Day festivities throughout campus today. Nightly's Catherine James dug up the story.
Jazz was in the air as Sooners celebrated Arbor Day with a picnic lunch and tree planting ceremony.
Arbor Day is always a really special day at the University of Oklahoma. It's about thanking those who've come before us for providing all of this beauty for us.
Catherine James, OU Nightly.
Go.
Well, that looks great. So happy today's Arbor Day. Love those trees around campus.
Beautiful weather out there too, it looks like.
Yes.
It's good weather. Well, that must make you happy.
It does,
Gives you good news to bring people. Do you have any updates on the weather?
Well, it's going to be a nice evening tonight. It's going to I've actually taken a first look at the Final Four forecast in Houston. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful weather for tip-off for that tailgating that everyone's planning on doing. So I'm looking forward to it, guys.
Thank you,
Good
Kylie.
news. Thanks for watching OU Nightly, brought to you by Gaylord College.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night live at 4:30.
Have a great evening.
Good night.